thank you so much for all of the information and clarification you've come here today to make.
Yeah.
Especially those with the Chinese supporting ULIMO, and then all the other information and clarification you made to us. We say thank you. The commissioners will ask questions now, but I just want to ask one or two before they start.
Yeah, welcome.
And my first is, did you have a fighting name?
I doesn't have no fighting name. Everybody knows me for Sherrif.
Okay. And then the second is that at one point when you were concluding, you said that those who bear the greatest responsibility should be taken to justice.
Yeah.
My question is, who do you know are those who bear the greatest responsibility?
As for ULIMO, Alhaji G.V. Kromah is there. Yulo. We are having one General Papa, which we were having. I think he stays now at Corway. General Bobo Aruna, etc., etc. There are plenty, and I believe people have come up with their statements. I believe the TRC know who to recommend. If not even me, but the country even knows those who bear the greatest responsibilities are the rebel leaders.
How long did you stay in the war? How long did you stay in the war?
In the war?
Yeah.
From 91, almost 14 years.
You stayed in the war for 14 years.
Yeah.
So at one point, you left childhood and you became an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We'll start with Stewart.
Thank you very much for coming. Maybe I just okay. I'm listening to your presentation. And there are a few questions I'd like to ask, listening to what you have said. Let me start by referring to your involvement in the invasion of the Ivory Coast. Firstly, do you know anything, or what do you know about River Bay in Liberia being a staging post for the invasion into the Ivory Coast? Do you know anything about River Bay?
River Bay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little more details about operations in that area? Who was the commander in that area? And from where, which points in the Ivory Coast did you people attack?
From River Bear, we started moving to another town by the name of Bantiwo and Tia Tolple, Giboli, Danani, Yadoli, Ma, and Sime.
Now, to the best of
These
your...
are the prominent big towns that we captured.
To the best of your recollection, were any Lebanese or foreign agents, foreigners, involved in the supply of arms and ammunition to you people into the Ivory Coast?
I keep on saying this. There is always a strategy that the people who are leading as commanders, they can always use. For men to get the momentum, for men to take the extra mile to keep moving. They can call big funds that we inject your mind so you can be brave, that say anything even happens to me, I know I will be flown out of the war front and go live life somewhere extra. But for most of these things that we are done over there, is directly we used to get all supplies on Liberia Street. I can only recall at one time at RIA 12 in the night, we left from the mansion ground. We went to receive arms and ammunition. According to them, the foreign minister from the first government brought the logistic to RIA, and we collected the weapons and bring them down to the mansion ground. That's I'm aware of that. The arms and ammunition that were brought?
Yes.
According to those that came with the arms and ammunition, some white guys, they say it came directly from the foreign minister in France.
So who...
A B-56 jet by 12 o'clock landed to RIA. We went and picked up the arms and ammunition, we brought them down to the mansion ground. That I know about.
What year was this?
It was during the regime, 99. Because we were short of ammunition, we wanted to clear along that Fuya axis also, because when mosquito spray came for the first time, we repaired the attack. They went back to Guinea. That was the time now President Taylor said, gentlemen, I want for you guys to help me. From wherever route these guys came from Guinea, you need to trace that route. And that was the time Guinea mission came up. We get to know General Sheku Konde, one General Suleiman, what they say he was in the army of Lansana Conte, but he fled from Guinea because he was already committed to a certain group that wanted to overthrow Lansana Conte in Guinea. That how he left, he came back to Liberia. So all these guys were with President Taylor. So that how they wanted us to start to take over these big towns along the border so they can base with their men.
Now, is the name Zumaningi or Suleiman?
Suleiman, General Suleiman.
Commissioner, I beg your indulgence. Can you just sign these documents so that we can make full copy, please?
But there's no such hurry now. We can do that later.
It's signed already. Oh, okay.
What is it? Abu. Now, before we get to the Guinea invasion, I want to complete my questions on the situation in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Who were those commanders that were leading in charge of the operations to attack the Ivory Coast, and who were the overall commander?
The overall commander at that time was General Sembokari, through the order of General Yeti, 50.
About how many men were involved in this operation?
We were over 2,000.
Did the invading troops, did they encounter any resistance from the Ivorian army?
Yes, there was resistance from the Ivorian army, but we were backed up again by the group from Ivory Coast side. We were hitting in collaboration with them, coming closer till we enter Danani.
Were any prisoners taken?
Prisoners taken?
Yeah.
From
the Ivory Coast?
To bring them down to Liberia.
Were any prisoners captured and taken?
Yeah, prisoners were captured, hospital looted, people killed, houses burned down.
What happened to the prisoners who were captured?
The prisoners that were captured were turned over to General Sembokari, and they turned them over to Yetin to bring them down to Monrovia. I doesn't know what they did to them later. That one I cannot tell because I was not present there when they were bringing them along.
Do you have any idea of the numbers of individuals that were involved as prisoners that were brought and turned over to Sembokari and turned over to General Yetin?
The number of prisoners?
Yeah. You have any idea?
I can remember, I think 27 in number.
About 27. Now, who was Felix Doe? What was his relationship to Charles Taylor? Felix Doe. You mentioned one Felix Doe from the Ivory Coast.
From Ivory Coast?
Yeah.
Well, we used to know these people, but I cannot tell you the relationship between him and Charles Taylor. He was a friend of Charles Taylor. That's all I know.
Was he a leader or the main leader of the Ivorian rebels?
He was a leader. Then one Sherrif Suleimani too was another leader too. That brought the problem between Sherrif and Feledu, because he too wanted to control the revolution and Feledu too wanted to control the revolution. But then that people loves Sherrif more than Feledu, that I got involved in a problem with Sembokari.
And how was Felix Doe killed?
I cannot exactly tell you because I was having my own area of control at that time.
How many men were under your control?
Huh?
How many men were under your control in your unit?
In my own place, I was having over 200 men.
Who did you report to?
I report directly to Sembokari because he was the mission commander for Ivory Coast.
And what was your rank at the time?
We used to carry up the C rank, the general rank that was given to us.
Now, in the invasion of the Ivory Coast, was there looting of institutions, civilian properties? Was there deliberate killing on the part of the invading forces?
It was obvious.
Now, you mentioned about attacking Guinea. About how many men were involved, and what year was this?
It was in 1998 coming to 99.
That Guinea was attacked?
Yeah.
Were you involved in the operations?
I was involved in the operation. We went together with Mike Wong, some other co-commanders, Sam Mosquito, who they call Liberian Mosquito is there, Christopher Vamo. They call him Mosquito too.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's alive. He lives somewhere around Barnasby area there.
And you remember any other names?
Yetin too was there because he usually had these operations as chief of staff.
What was the objective of the operation?
The objective of the operation at that time, the order came down that this so-called revolutionist, General Sekou Konde, was supposed to become the revolutionary leader for a pro-democratic group living in Guinea. But it came at a time when we started attacking the positions, then that he is not having enough manpower, that how it came up that his mother, who stays in Guinea, have already advised him to forget about Guinean revolution and just keep waiting till if he wants to become whosoever, let him link with his brother Alpha Conde, then they can shoot up as presidential candidate. But they shouldn't bring problem to their people in Guinea. That was the time he gave up.
And that was the time this Sekou Konde gave up?
Yeah.
And where did he go after he gave up?
He was still with the revolution.
Is he alive today?
He's alive. He's in France.
Now, you said that you were in Gegedu or Masanta for 11 days?
11 days. Gegedu, we first captured Gegedu, we were there for 11 days. We could be treated again, we went and hit Masanta. Rushed into the refugee camps, destroyed the refugee camps. We came to the military barrier, we took some arms and ammunition from there, and we crossed back to Liberia. The same goes to Kisidugu too. There was a prominent military barrier in Kisidugu. When we captured the town, we raised the army from the barrier. We took, because we were short of arms and ammunition, so we took arms and ammunition from there. That's where I was having one of my friends, they call him General Ray too. He was fired on that operation. When we were coming back, because of the storm in the water, the crossing, so many other commanders died, and men, the water even carried them, civilians that we were bringing back, plenty people died through that crossing.
Was this during the rain season?
Where?
Was it during the rainy season?
It was not during the rainy season per se, but when we enter, the time we can cross in the morning, the water can come up small. It reaches to a certain time, like around 12 or 1, it will get down a little bit. So if you cross now, after the evening, the storm will be in the water, so it will not be easy. But we were chased out by enemy forces, so we were forced to cross. That's how we left Isidugu.
That was the Guinean army now you're talking about?
Yeah, the Guinean army with some Kamajors, because they were in the native attire, they call them the Kamajors. We are thrown out of Guinea. We came back to Liberia.
Now, you also started off with ULIMO.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned that you were with ULIMO at the time its first commander, General Kape, was killed.
Yes, sir.
Can you throw a little bit of light on the circumstances that attended the death of General Kape?
When General Alhaji G.V. Kromah came for Guinea with the notion to come and persuade the government of Sierra Leone so he can head LUDF, but then that General Kape was already there and it's well known in Sierra Leone because he have already started boosting the morale of Liberians fighters who are living in Sierra Leone at that time. So he found it difficult to penetrate the command structure. He tried by every possible means, he never make it. So a meeting was held in Kromah town at the 3rd Brigade in Kromah.
Were you there at the time?
I was bodyguard to late Babangida, the man who shot General Kape. I was bodyguard to him.
Do you remember any other name for this Babangida?
And Sumana Kamara is his real name, but he's dead now.
Can you say under whose orders General Kape was shot? Was Babangida acting on his own, or was he acting on an order?
He never did it on his own. The mission came directly from Alhaji G.V. Kromah, because it's like when the tussle started, some other group of people went beyond Alhaji Kromah, like Roosevelt Johnson, then Ahmad Yulo, then everybody was beyond Alhaji Kromah because they knew he's a businessman or he have small financial power. So everybody was behind in Kromah. Oh, our chief now come from Guinea, blah blah. He brought some American US camouflage, red berets in the container. What he brought with him. They started sharing the uniform to people that have raised the momentum of LUDF men, because at that time we just used to wear fiti, the green fiti. He brought camouflage, so everybody was in their camouflage suit, and Kape was not having other strong men that could have really able to secure him. So the Sierra Leonean people deemed it necessary or fit. They say he should be behind the brigade in Kromah. They gave him one lodge there, so that the place he was residing. But it came to a time around 12:30 in the night. Alhaji Kromah drive to the house of General Babangida now and Sumana Kamara and tell him that I have already given an order to Ahmad Yulo to carry on the execution of General Kape, so I can become the leader for LUDF. But I have my own name that I brought from Guinea. When the mission kicks, then I will announce myself.
And were you there at the time such discussions were going on?
It was right outside, because the whole place we're living in is just a military barrack. So there is nothing strange that you can discuss in the room to anybody. They can always discuss outside.
And then from there, then the execution was carried out.
He left. He went back because his own lodge was right before Kromah Brigade. So he left, he went back to his house. Then Babangida said, gentlemen, you should get ready. We'll start smoking, drinking.
Who was Ahmad Yulo at the time?
Ahmad Yulo was the mission commander. He had never yet come, because we were waiting for him to come before we can go. So when he came, the high General Babangida said, let everybody get on board. We were having one camouflage Land Rover Jeep, one red pickup. What Ahmad Yulo was having red pickup. So we get on board. All the SBUs, they say everybody get on board, get on board. We went there in the night. It was almost after 1. They knocked at the door. General Kape came out wearing the nightgown. The nightgown was on him. He came out with some flowers inside, designed with flowers. He came out. As soon as he opened the door, he spot everybody in both arms. So he wanted to get inside back by turning his back to General Babangida, that had Babangida released the BAR on him straight with 4 shots on his back. He dropped. Right in front of the living room, he dropped. That's how we left. But before we could go, General Babangida took the silver chain of General Kape and put it in the militant packet that he was having. He shopping inside, then he took the silver watch and the silver ring and put it in the chassis. So as soon as the Sierra Leone army heard that firing, they came to check. And they knew already what was going on. The Tom Newman, the resident minister in Kenema, came straight to Yulo's place. And they arrested him and his bodyguards. They take them to CRD district headquarters in Kenema. The commissioner is there now, but it's now, I think, director of police in Sierra Leone now. They call him Munu.
Call him what?
Munu, Commissioner Munu. At that time, he was a pretty young man. He knows his job.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's in Sierra Leone. They took the photo of General Kape. Then we all were there that morning. We slept there. So in the morning, they said nobody should go nowhere. We were disarmed, and they put a weapon on one side. The hard they say, but then this thing is simple. If Babangida is denying, Yulo is denying who did the firing, we should ask the men. But nobody could be brave at that time to say, oh, I'm a commander, fire that man. You can't do it. So later on they say, but then these are small children, and let them go out. The how where we are going out, they say they should search everybody. We were searched by the police. Then they gave back our uniform to us. Then they called Babangida in front of the whole CRD crew now. It was right outside. The time the body of Kape was laying down now in the Land Rover Jeep. So they had to call Babangida in front. Where he came, they started searching him. They took some money, wallet, other things. When they came down to this right parking now, they took the chain out, the wristwatch, and the silver ring. They say, you said you never went at the scene. This ring, the watch with the chain alone is evidence against you. They say, who sent you? So he said it was through the order of Yulo. They asked Yulo to say, Alhaji G.V. Kromah. Immediately Kromah left from Kenema, because he knew already they have called his name at the police station, so he left. He went back Guinea. Already they have arrested Yulo and Babangida. So everybody went back home. We were there, but they decided to disarm everybody, that nobody should walk around with weapon, but you can walk with your uniform. They doesn't have problem with that, but nobody should walk around with weapons. That's how they took them directly to Panemba Road, the state prison in Freetown. After 3 weeks, Alhaji Kromah came back. He came, he reported himself to the government of Sierra Leone. One way and another, they fixed it up. We were to Kenema. They said, let everybody go to Kromah-based. We all were to Kromah-based. That had a brought he and Mr. Kromah in front. They said that the new leader will have him. And in fact, we have changed the name from LUDF to ULIMO today.
And then later on, you people crossed over into Liberia.
Yes, sir.
And at the time you crossed over into Liberia, it was one ULIMO. Yeah. Were you in Bombing Hills or Tubmanburg when ULIMO split?
I was there.
Which side did you end up on?
I ended up K.
Can you give some light on what led to the split?
As for me, the way I look at it, maybe other people may have their own versions, but I believe it's just power consciousness. Because Roosevelt Johnson too, at that time, sees himself to be growing more powerful. He doesn't want to take command from Alhaji G.V. Kromah. He doesn't want to take command from Yulo. So that's really brought the tussle. And secondly, they were doing certain appointments that this one group is not happy because of tribal business. The other group will come and say, well, it's Krahn men. why they should make Kromah they want. The other group will say why they should make Mandingo-men, the other commander in front of people jail like that. The high happy.
Now, who can you remember as forming the ULIMO leadership at the time, the ULIMO-K leadership?
The ULIMO-K?
Yes. Who were those in the top leadership that you remember?
I can remember the G.V, General Kromah, but he's dead now. He died in Fonjama when he was coming with Law Rebel at the place.
What is the name?
Kromah.
And who else?
Then I can remember Tabra Sherrif. Papa, he was in the police. I think he was 103 during Chancellor regime. Then we were having other command in Morovia, like earlier on I mentioned Papi Kamara, one Papi Sherrif, who Sheikh Kafumba Kone.
Now, after the split, the ULIMO split, there was a time when Topmanberg was cut off for quite a long time. Were you in Topmanberg at that time when there was no food going in and all of that? Were you there?
You see, at that time we were based in Banga when Banga fell. Banga fell because of that problem was arising, that how we took men from Banga, we came down to Bomi to reinforce. But at that time we were not bought yet by Taylor to reinforce ULIMO-K, because we were already sensitized by Kromah men that we should come and join Kromah together with Pepper and Saw, because Pepper and Saw was a Mandingo boy, John Gujabatu, he from the same Mandingo tribe. So that how we came, after running the mission, we went back and sit down to Banga before we were brought to Morovia. We joined the NPFL.
Which year was this, you say?
I said 94.
94?
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the year that Banga fell, 94?
Yeah.
And you were attacking on the Banga axis at the time?
Yeah, we are attacking Banga axis. We were there.
Now, when did you first join, after fighting against the NPFL for such a long time, when did you first join Taylor, and what was it that led you to join Taylor? What encouraged you to join Taylor?
Well, we were having our key advisors, as earlier on I continue to say, they brought us down to Morovia. Immediately after the fall of Banga, we were there for a certain time because they knew they cannot able to pull us back from Banga. So they decided buying us so we can join them and be part of them.
You joined?
Yeah.
What time was this? It's in 94?
94.
And who were those?
Late 94, I think coming to September like that, September or November, something like that.
So by 1995, 96, you were already on Taylor's side?
Yeah.
But, and you say who were those that convinced you and others to join Taylor?
We were having Papi Kamara.
Bambe Kamara, you say?
Papi. We call him Papi Kamara. Mesa Kamara. We call him Papi Kamara.
You know his full? Do you know his full name?
His full name is Mr. Kromah, but when it's all along we used to call him Papi Kamara.
Is he alive today?
No, he's dead.
Alright. And who else?
And one Mr. Sherrif too, he lives somewhere around Douala. He's still living. He got one brand new green Jeep, Toyota full-wheel drive Jeep that he can always be driving. It's black, short, fat in the body.
And the two of them, along with others?
There were others, even Sheikh Kafumba Kone, I shall continue to say. see, Mr. Stewart, sometimes it pains me I can feel it to really see people who doesn't have the integrity to say, yes, I did it. If we are brave, we can come up and sit here who says all what we've been doing. Then why other people can't too have that initiative, that notion to say, yes, it is true. I was part of this, but because I wanted power or I wanted money, you know, or it's bad. They sit back like they doesn't even know nothing. After they have destroyed our futures, made us to be half crazy, we just moving around just like enemy planes. It's bad.
So, were you involved in the April 6 fighting in Monrovia?
In
April 6, were you involved?
April 6 fight? No.
Were you involved at any time? Did you link up with the ATU after joining Taylor? Subsequently, did you at any time affiliate with the ATU or any of
No, I never link up with the ATU, but I will say yes again, because when the ATU was formed, some ex-RUF fighters that came from Sierra Leone directly under the command of General Sam Bokari was taken to Batala base, trained. From there, they become ATU. But during my own command, I was with the militia at that time, because I never wanted to join ATU, because when you go ATU base, you know, they do one or two things that I doesn't even love. But I was having men assigned under me, ATU men. They take command from me, and I do execute orders from even Momojiba. He knows when we were in Vonyama, before even the death of Francois Massacre in Vonyama.
Were you around there at the time?
Yeah.
Was it your forces that opened fire on Francois Massacre, or was it the enemy forces?
It happened this way. We were in Vonyama at that time, but when that the Lord forces have already attacked Vonyama, just like what I was saying here. General Jiba was not having that integrity to tell the president that we have retreated from Vonyama. For every time 020 from the marching ground used to call, they would tell the presidency, we are still in Vonyama. We retreated, we came close to Zozo. We were based in Zozo. It was during that time President Taylor sent Francois Massacre. He said, go to Vonyama and give them this logistic. Unknowing to him that already we have retreated from the ground. Nobody was told, because the directive comes from the commander to the radio man that is sending out. Buddha said, no way. When the helicopter came, the chopper landed at the airfield, thinking that we are on the ground. That was the time they met with the enemy forces.
I see. Now, there was a security official in the Taylor government by the name of Mr. Ross, Ahmed Ross. I do not know if you knew him or were in the area in which he was operating, but did you ever hear of him and how he got killed on the front?
Ross.
A red-skinned man, short.
I cannot tell you anything about that.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, at night. Put it on.